Usually, the biggest club legends don't leave by being sold. They leave at the end of their contracts towards the end of their careers, as we saw with Zidane, as we saw with Messi. But a huge star and a legend among Real Madrid's legends and perhaps the best player in their history, Cristiano Ronaldo, was sold to a European rival for over 100 million euros. A rare story in the world of legends. So, how did it start? And how did it happen? In truth, the real story of Cristiano Ronaldo's departure didn't begin with the official statement where Real Madrid said we agreed to sell him. Nor did it start on the night of the Kiev final when Ronaldo came out and hinted at his departure. The story actually began during the 2017 to 2018 season. That season, Real Madrid was a disaster domestically. They were very far behind Barcelona and they were knocked out of the cup by Leganés. During this domestic tension, news started to emerge that Perez and Ronaldo had a cold, strained relationship. The cause of the clash was that Cristiano Ronaldo had been promised a contract after the 2017 Quarta Final in which he excelled, and this contract would likely be one of the best, comparable to Messi and Neymar's salaries. But after a while, they told him there was no money. Then a report appeared in El Confidencial stating that Real Madrid felt that a 33-year-old player getting a long-term contract renewal with a high salary was illogical, so he should continue with his current decent contract and salary. And to add insult to injury for Ronaldo, news began to surface that Real Madrid wanted Hazard. Real Madrid might be considering Mane, who had started to shine anew with Liverpool. Real Madrid is thinking of getting Neymar. He went to Paris Saint-Germain. Maybe now they could bring him back. The sheer amount of names that were coming out, some were false and some were true reports. Consequently, Ronaldo felt something. They definitely don't want to renew my contract and are looking for a replacement. I am no longer a priority, no longer a necessity, but have become a negotiable asset. During this period, Ronaldo kept getting the feeling that Real Madrid was planning for life after Ronaldo until the Kiev final on May 26, 2018 arrived. In that match, as we know, Real Madrid won 3-1 against Liverpool. And the true star of the final was Gareth Bale. And here, after the match, Ronaldo came out with very shocking words. He said it was nice to play for Real Madrid, meaning it was past tense. This statement shocked the Real Madrid players, like, brother, we are living in a historic moment, 3 Champions League titles in a row. No one has done that in the modern era. We are the masters of the continent. Why did you come out with statements that stole our joy and stole the spotlight? The press went after Ronaldo and asked him what it meant. Is this a departure or not? The next day, Ronaldo came out and spoke immediately, saying, I'm sorry about the timing. I know, I might have distracted from the attention on the most important event, which is the coronation, but I don't feel happy. Also, I've been enduring this for a long time, but I wasn't able to hide it anymore. It was time for me to speak. Then he said the sentence, things will happen. When people heard this, they said, well, 4 years ago, he said he was unhappy and sad, and they renewed his contract, and he stayed. So he'll definitely renew and stay. But 4 days after these statements, the most important and difficult news arrived. Zinedine Zidane, the coach who won the Champions League 3 times, announced his departure. Zinedine Zidane comes out and says the club needs a coach with a different mentality and a different way of thinking. Statements that shocked everyone. It was linked to the idea that Zidane knew how Real Madrid treated Ronaldo and he wasn't pleased with it. Zidane was one of Cristiano's biggest supporters. He had a famous statement regarding Ronaldo's future after rumors emerged in early 2018. He said, I cannot imagine Real Madrid without Cristiano. When Zidane left, Ronaldo wrote a message and thanked him a lot. He said, it was a pride for me to be your player. Perhaps it was. The moment Zidane left was the moment that convinced Ronaldo even more to request a departure, and he hinted at that in later interviews. He felt that the project was going in the wrong direction and the atmosphere was uncomfortable, not just for him but for the coach who brought them titles. All the Madrid media realized that this successful project, which brought the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th Champions League titles, was exhausted and a change was necessary. There would be a price for this change, and perhaps that price was the departure of Cristiano Ronaldo. Because on June 7th, the Portuguese newspaper Record published the news. The decision is final. Ronaldo wants to leave, Ronaldo feels let down, and that promises were not kept. At the same time, more news started coming out saying that Ronaldo got into tax trouble in Spain and Real Madrid did not support him. He felt unappreciated and reports started circulating more and more about who said that Real Madrid's management did not reach out to Ronaldo, as if they were telling him to leave. Here, there was a theory suggesting Florentino Pérez appreciation for what he did. He created the right environment for the man to leave quietly. Ronaldo's name began to be linked to a club that was unexpectedly able to finance the Ronaldo deal because it plays in the Italian league, that club being Juventus. News began to emerge that seemed like a romantic theory that during the 2017 to 2018 season, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a famous bicycle kick against Juve, and after he scored it, the Juventus fans cheered for him and were delighted. This was a strange feeling for Ronaldo, who was used to the opposing crowd being against him whenever he visited their stadium, so he felt the love. It is said that that moment contributed emotionally to Ronaldo saying, "I want to play with these people, with the Juve fans who love me even when I'm against them, so what would it be like when I'm with them?" On July 4th, 2018, the first official news breaks that Real Madrid received the offer. From Juve, the first offer is said to have been less than 100 million, but with the negotiations, they finally reached a total deal that stands to this day at 117 million euros. Juventus took a financial risk much greater than its capabilities because it wanted one thing: the UEFA Champions League. They had lost the 2015 and 2017 finals, and there was a feeling that if we reached 2019 or 2020 with Ronaldo, he would score the goal that brings the title. And effectively, as soon as the news about Juve came out, Juventus's stock rose in the market by 10%, and more news began to appear. Ronaldo met with Agnelli, and they agreed on everything. The Madrid media confirms these reports. This made the situation in Italy almost certain, so they wrote, Gazzetta dello Sport met it with, "Yes, we can. Yes, the Italian league is capable of buying Cristiano Ronaldo. Fans are waiting at the airports in Turin. Journalists are waiting to photograph Ronaldo's plane." The news became almost confirmed, awaiting the arrival of Cristiano. And this is what happened on July 10th, 2018. Real Madrid issued an official statement saying, "We agreed to sell Ronaldo to Juventus." And it continues saying, "Based on the player's desire," meaning I didn't sell my history. He is the one who asked to leave. I have nothing to do with it. He is the one who wants to seek a new challenge. And Ronaldo, of course, made a post thanking the Real Madrid fans and described this phase as the happiest in his life. Then he continued and said, "I want a new challenge." And when he arrived at Juventus in the press conference, he came out and said, "Choosing Juventus was very easy for me, because at that time Juventus was one of the strongest powers in Europe during those years. I tell you, they played 2 finals." And people started remembering at that time the statement of President Agnelli, that 5 years ago, he had said, "Within 5 years, we will be able to buy a player like Ronaldo after we build this project." And he actually managed to buy him. And here the issue branches off into several matters. Then in the press conference, they asked Ronaldo about the golden ball, and it was as if he felt it would be taken from him. And he said, "I don't care about the golden ball. I'm coming to look for a new challenge, not for something from the past. I consider the golden ball something from the past." And actually, on the night of the 2018 Champions League final, if you search for the news at that time, everyone was tipping Cristiano Ronaldo for the golden ball. But his departure from Real Madrid to Juve and his exit from the strongest Madrid media circle, and also Modric's brilliance in the World Cup, made the Madridistas shift the direction, promotion, and marketing all towards Luka Modric, who won the 2018 Golden Ball. Ronaldo felt in the first press conference that he wouldn't get it. The other thing that appeared with the Ronaldo's exit to Juventus is something called the Ronaldo effect. This was the first time this term emerged, and I remember at the time when I translated the phrase in the news that was published in an Italian newspaper explaining the concept. The fans who don't like Ronaldo were very provoked, and they kept following me for a whole year, writing in the comments, "Ronaldo effect, Ronaldo effect." Of course, the matter was comical for me, but this subject was strange. Ronaldo's arrival, of course, definitely sold more jerseys for Juve, but notice that season ticket sales increased, not for Juventus, but for all clubs in Italy. Everyone wants a ticket so that when Ronaldo comes that day, he is there and can attend. Also, more than one player admitted that they decided to play in the Italian league when Ronaldo arrived. This means huge promotion, but in reality, the Ronaldo deal financially might have strained Juve. And it is not just Ronaldo's arrival for this amount. I think what happened was bad luck and bad timing. Ronaldo arrived and things were fine. Then Corona came, and Corona destroyed the clubs financially, as we know, especially the Italian clubs. I mean, those that rely largely for their income on the match itself, on the competitions themselves. So it was a knockout blow to the Italian league. Ronaldo's arrival could have been a promotional leap for the future of the Italian league if it weren't for Corona disrupting everything. It forced Juventus, one way or another, to tinker with their finances, which led to sanctions and ultimately to Ronaldo's departure. One of the funny stories I always remember when I recall Ronaldo's deal to Juve. Allegri explains, he says it was 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. The president called me and said, "I want to see you." So I thought to myself, he's going to fire me. I mean, someone seeing me in the middle of the night, he's going to fire me. It seemed like he wasn't happy with what happened last season, but he actually went. I mean, look, Agnelli came to see Allegri and told him, "We intend to buy Ronaldo. What do you think?" So he says, "I felt happy at that moment." And at the same time, I told him, of course, who doesn't want Ronaldo? Also, there is a story that reveals work on Ronaldo's deal began before the end of the season and before the Champions League final. This work began around March when Juve played Real Madrid in the Champions League quarterfinals. Juventus sporting director Fabio Paratici explains. He says that before Juventus played Real Madrid, Ronaldo's agent Jorge Mendes came and he asked him, what do you think of Ronaldo? He told him, of course, he's one of the greatest players. He told him he wants to play for Juve. Fabio thought to himself, he said when he told me that, I thought he was joking. I mean, Ronaldo leaving Real Madrid? Where would we get the money and all that talk? Negotiations then took place between Juventus and Mendes, who is Ronaldo's agent. They were related to signing Cancelo. And in those negotiations, Mendes came back and said, "Why just Cancelo? Take Cancelo and Ronaldo. Let Cancelo cross to Ronaldo." I mean, literally, you feel like that fantasy came true. But in reality, he told them in those negotiations, why sign only Cancelo? Let's make the deal Cancelo and Ronaldo. There, the Juventus management realized that this man was not joking, and that Juventus could actually bring in Cristiano, a deal that made huge noise for Juve. It brought fame to the Italian league very clearly. But there is a question, why did Real Madrid agree to sell Ronaldo? Why didn't they wait until his contract ended? There is a theory I'm convinced of that says the following. Part of Ronaldo's strength and legendary status is his personality, ego, and ambition. The problem with this personality is that when his level starts to drop, he doesn't accept reality. He cannot admit that his level has declined, and Real Madrid wants players at their peak level. So Real Madrid might have bought a player who would deserve to play as a starter. And here, Ronaldo would not accept that, and problems would arise. That is why it is said that Perez felt he could not manage the period of Ronaldo's decline. So he created the conditions indirectly so that Ronaldo would ask to leave, which was to Juventus. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Juventus. It was a story that started at first like a myth. I mean, I felt it was an illusion. It was impossible for an Italian club to get Ronaldo. Then Juventus did the impossible and brought him. And it was a financial gamble that unfortunately had a negative impact. But at the same time, it created beautiful years that the fan will never forget. The night of the comeback against Atletico is enough. I mean, that makes up for some of what happened. Juve made a mistake by constantly changing managers around Ronaldo and also by frequently changing the formations around Ronaldo. Consequently, they failed to utilize him in the best way. We have reached the end of this video.